Maybe more functional. We'll see. Oh, hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday. As I am streaming to you from a little hotel room before I head off to Galaxycon Raleigh for the day. For day two of Galaxycon Raleigh, it's only been one day so far, and it was a Thursday show, so take that in stride for what that means. But it was a good Thursday. Um, but yeah, it's a 4 day weekend for this event, so kind of gotta pace myself in terms of what I'm doing and how things are going. But yeah. So it's 7 a.m. here on the East Coast of the United States as we're kicking off. I'm gonna jump in some news in just a minute, just to hop right in there. But I hope y'all are doing good. Hope you're having a good weekend. And yeah, I think we're good to go. So the big stuff that's happened in the last week, which is, the obvious things, is that since the last time I did this, um, President Biden has announced that he is no longer running for office for the next term, and that he has uh named her, like, or endorsed Kamala Harris as his um person to follow up the candidate choice. I don't know what to say for politically, but yeah. And I'm not going deeper than that discussion. I'm just saying that happened. And the rest of the world has been crazy for Cocoa Puffs in terms of their responses to it and what they want, how they want it, and how they feel about it. But I'm just saying that happened. It's now part of history, and we're moving on. So, however you feel with that, I hope that you're nice to people and that you don't suck. So, be kind and be cool. And there's no candidate that's ever going to, like, fully encompass your hopes and dreams. So don't be mean to people. All right. Um, but that did happen. That's the thing, and we're here with it. Um, we are absolutely living in interesting political times. Like, I feel like the way things are going, it's almost like wrestling level scripted. Like, you can see the stuff coming, and then it's like you hear somebody's entrance music break and come down the aisle. Good morning, Tristan. Um, Tristan is the first person I saw to watch Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters. Because he's like a whole 12 hours ahead of us. Um, Outside of, like, my friends that are like movie critics and stuff. But yeah, if that's big news to say as well, that Deadpool and Wolverine has officially hit theaters. I have not seen it. I probably won't see it till this weekend's over because the show runs till 8 o'clock every night. And then I've got a 20-minute drive to my hotel. And so it's just not super likely that I'm gonna do all that and then end up, you know, going to a movie theater after a long day like that. So I'm gonna try and turn this camera up a hair if I can operate my equipment. There we go. Maybe. Cool. Um, but yeah, Tristan, no spoiler review, but how did you feel about Deadpool and Wolverine? Since I know you watched it. Um, but I'm excited to see it. I know it's gonna be great. I can preemptively say it's gonna make all the money and do all the things this weekend. So it'll be a good experience for that. I've heard that there, just in terms of parenting and concern, that it is a hard R in terms of language and violence. Um, uh, but it is not for the children's. There is no nudity, to my understanding, if that's a concern. But yeah, and Tristan says it's fantastic. Oh, like, oh, okay. Fantastic, eh? All right. So yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine is out. I'll, probably make some commentary on it when I do actually watch it and have some things to say. I'm a big fan of Cameron Crowe and his filmography and his storytelling. His My he created my favorite movie. I've loved a lot of his journey. He is now making a new picture. He's making a biopic on, and I know some people say biopic, and if you say biopic, you're weird. He's making a biopic on Joni Mitchell, and it's going to star Meryl Streep as Joni Mitchell. Um, and I think it's a really, or at least as an older Joni, and I think that's pretty cool. Um, Joni recently was at the I'm gonna stop saying because I was about to say Joni was at the premiere of Almost Famous the musical. But I can't remember if that was Jonas or Joni Miller or Janis Joplin. I'm pretty sure it's Joni Miller, but one of them's not alive. So take that as you will. Uh, but yeah, new biopic on Joni Mitchell coming from Cameron Crowe. Uh, yep. If you are a fan of wrestling, Kevin Owens had been uh distracted sideline per se because his mother was struggling with illness and kind of a life or death situation, and she made it out, and she posted a photo holding up KO's shirt that says "Just Keep Fighting" with the caption "She kicked out," and I think that's about as great as a warm and fuzzy post as you can make as a wrestling child with that. Weird Al Yankovic, to celebrate his last album, Mandatory Fun, the his last big album that he's done a few tours off of, he dropped a giant um song called Polka Mania, which goes through and does polka versions of some of the biggest hits of the last 10 years, including Taylor Swift, including Billie Eilish, a bunch of stuff. So if you're a fan of Weird Al Yankovic, accordions, or awkward covers of things, you should definitely check out Polka Mania. It's just one track, but you can check it out. If you have been a fan of the graphic novel or webtoon of Lore Olympus, um, that has been going on for feels like a lifetime. Like at least I had friends that I knew were reading it like 5 years ago. Um, and it gained some mainstream popularity. It was in discussions for an animated series pre-COVID and a live action series pre-COVID. Um, but you know that has ended. Lore Olympus is over. And that Rachel Smythe, I believe is her name. Yeah, Rachel Smythe, who did Lore Olympus, is now announcing two graphic novels. Um, one is called Eleanor's Deathbed, um, which is about a socially isolated mortician's apprentice, um, within, yeah, who becomes friends with death. So yeah, there's going to be two new graphic novels coming from Rachel Smythe. So that is going to be fun if you are a fan of that. Um, Taylor Swift almost set history for having an album have the longest consecutive weeks at number one on the Billboard charts. Um, the album record is held by Stevie Wonder. Um, but Taylor made it 1 week away from unseating Stevie Wonder with her Tortured Poets Department album. And I'm not an anti-Taylor person. My household is filled with Taylor people. I am a fan of three songs deeply. Uh, but somebody made a reference and said, "How has the Tortured Poets Department been number one for 3 months? Yet there's not like a single from it. Like there's not one banger that everybody's just rocking to. It's a great art piece as a collective whole, but it's not like, a pop thing that people like say, oh, this one's a jam." Um, so I just said that's the power of it. But Taylor was unseated from that position and knocked from first to fourth, because of the release of the Death of Slim Shady Coup de Grace Eminem's album. Took number one on the charts and just kind of unshifted everything. But basically, that she made it a week away from Stevie Wonder's record, and then Eminem's album unseated her. So that did happen. If you're a fan of Hamilton or Transformers or Twisters, the star or In the Heights, Anthony Ramos of all of those productions has, gone on record of saying that he is very passionately a big fan of the series The Chosen, and got into some discussion recently at an interview about how much he likes The Chosen and what it means to him. So if you're a fan of Hamilton or anything like that, I recommend checking that out. Um, if you like What We Do in the Shadows, which is cool because Nandor and Guillermo are both at the show with me this weekend, just for kicks and giggles. Uh, the final season of What We Do in the Shadows is going to begin airing on October 21st, and so that is taking place. If you're a fan of Animal Crossing, which I am, there the Ripley's Aquarium in Myrtle Beach has been doing this whole summer, and I'm sorry to tell you lately, but I just found out. Um, Up until August 11th, there's an Animal Crossing partnership with the Ripley's Aquarium, and that you will have like giant like cutouts and stuff of the Animal Crossing characters throughout the museum, throughout the aquarium. There's even at one point, our friendly neighborhood seagull is like passed out on the shore of one of the fish exhibits. So if you want something close to actually having your own Animal Crossing island, you should head to Ripley's Aquarium before August 11th if you want to check that out. Brendan Fraser has stepped up for his next award, which might net him his second Oscar. People are like roughly saying that, not that we know that yet. He is going to be playing Dwight Eisenhower um, in an upcoming drama called Pressure about the Normandy invasion, and Andrew Scott is going to be playing a lead role along with him. So you're gonna have Andrew Scott and Brendan Fraser in a dramatic thing about Normandy. I'm just saying, there's somebody's getting a trophy from the end of this. Disney has announced a new official, or not Disney, but I guess all of them have announced a new official bundle that is taking place where Disney, Hulu, and Max will be bundled together. If you want ads, it's $16.99. If you don't want ads, it's $29.99. And it's only available in the US for now. And I'm just saying, it's cable, y'all. We're just getting cable. You should be prepared as a gamer, in which I don't know how much this is going to affect us because it's going to affect us at some point. I don't know if it's going to affect us immediately, but the there's a SAG-AFTRA members who work in the world of video games are preparing to go on strike due to AI protections and things like that within video games. Um, so um, you might see a video game strike in terms of production, which video games are like a 3 year thing before you see them actually done anyway. But because of the level of protections that are in place for actors in terms of video games and AI, a strike is coming. So we've had movies, we've had writers, now we're getting video game strike. At San Diego Comic-Con, Mark Hamill showed up for the SpongeBob panel to announce that he would be playing the Flying Dutchman. Um, Also, Chris Hemsworth showed up for the Transformers 1 panel. Um, That some friends tell me. In sad news, a crew member that is working on Superman committed suicide, yes, 2 days ago, while the movie was filming in Atlanta. I didn't get details. I didn't want to go into details about the dude's stuff, but a crew member, you know, took their own life on the production of Superman, and that is sad and horrible. Also in DC related news, the animated Batman series that is coming to Amazon Prime on August 1st is going to bring to pseudo life uh, a not sideline, and a very offbeat Batman character created by Kevin Smith. Um, a long while ago, Kevin Smith created a supervillain called Onomatopoeia that says the words of the sounds it's gonna make. So, like, if he's cocking a gun, he'll go click clack, or if he shoots you, he's literally gonna say bang, but that's all he says. Is the sounds that he would make. He will be premiering in the Cape Crusader cartoon. Um, yeah, August 1st. We're gonna get a whole season of Batman at once. That's gonna be great. And a 27-year-old has been sentenced to 1 year in prison uh, because he made 39 threats between August and November of 2023 using Nintendo's online inquiry form, making death threats and bomb threats against Nintendo and uh, Nintendo Live. They had to postpone the Nintendo Live event this year because of all the death threats from last year. And so this man was sentenced. His name is Kenshin Kazuma. He's 27 years old, and he made 39 death threats in a couple month window. And so he's getting 1 year in prison. I don't know that I feel like 1 year is an effective thing for 39 death threats, but I also get, it's just a threat and it's online. If we were all fully held accountable for everything we've said aggressively in a video game online forum, some of us would be in deep trouble. But Kenshin is going to face 1 year in prison. Um, Twisters officially made $80 million in its opening weekend, which is a big success for the franchise sequel. And it took the box office overall. One thing to say is that I've not watched Wolverine and Deadpool, but I there is one post-credit scene in the film, so if you're watching that, you should definitely check that, wait for that. And not everybody likes Logan Paul and Jake Paul, especially if you're wrestling fans. You're literally trained to hate Jake Paul or Logan Paul even more lately, but many people have beef with them out the gate. But one of the new cauterizing things in terms of people's feelings towards them, the Paul brothers are offering to pay $12 million for the hat that Donald Trump was wearing when he got shot. So I don't know if that's going further um, down the rabbit hole or not, but they are offering to pay $12 million just for the hat. And probably the most gangster thing I've heard in terms of people just being hardcore. Um, Australian field hockey player Matt Dawson uh injured his finger. He broke his finger running up to the Olympics um in Paris. And with a broken finger, he was not going to be able to play in the Olympics. So he decided to have his finger amputated so that he could play in the Olympics rather than playing with a broken finger. That's that's a special level of gangster to me. Is you saying, you know what, I would rather not have this finger than not playing these Olympics. Um, I haven't met much that I've seen is going to make me say, you know what, I can lose a digit for this experience. Um, you remember Cocaine Bear that existed? Well, now we're dealing with cocaine sharks. Yeah, Tristan, that is hardcore. Um, Brazil, uh, there's been a scientific paper published that says um, some of the places that are making drugs, like illegal drugs in Brazil, and dumping their offshoot uh, chemical products is causing sharks to become um, drug and fueled and more erratic and violent. So there literally are cocaine sharks swimming off the coast of Brazil. So I'm sure that'll be a movie in next year. But and there was an IT outage that took place this past week, and it left tens of thousands of people stranded in airports. Airport delays are hard in general, but when the whole world is shutting down, that's a hard thing to accomplish. Um, that's about all I got. One cool thing just to tell you was last night Switchfoot was performing at the right across the street from the Comic Con that I was at. Um, and after the show, which is if you're a Switchfoot fan, you know that this occasionally happens. After the show, John Foreman came out by himself and performed a concert out on the street corner of the uh con, but like was like the intersection between the con and the concert venue, like right at the gate. He's known for doing like solo parking lot concerts after Switchfoot shows. And so last night he did it, and it was right at the gate between the Comic Con and that. So I know this is a short one. It's 7:20. I don't have a ton to report just because it's been a crazy week. But I'm about to head to get dressed and everything and head to the Comic Con, and it's going to be a good experience. There's a big bunch of ton of celebrities there. I've had some good interactions so far. I got to give two of our Patreon supporters their unique items in person, which was neat. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of folks today. I have a discussion panel on faith and fandom as an idea and open for everyone at 11:15 today. I have Geek Church on Sunday. This is by far my biggest show every year. And yeah. Also, I attempted to make a Delicious in Dungeon cosplay before this, and I got pretty far into it, and I'm very happy with how it's going, but I didn't get it done in time. But it's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna go through and read our Patreon supporters just because I need to go. But I love you all. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you for supporting the way that you do. And one of Alicia, one of our supporters, asked me yesterday if I was still gonna do my newsy thing. I forgot what she called it, but she called it something new, something cool at the thing. But yeah, still did the news thing, even if I didn't have anything to tell you. Um, but I love you. God loves you. Oh, I have, for y'all that are watching, I have some free God is a fan of you stickers that I had printed to give away at this show. So if you see this, come ask for a sticker. Um, but yeah, I will see y'all soon. Thank you, Tristan. I appreciate it, dude. But yeah, I hope y'all have a great day, and I will see you soon. Probably next week. Soon.